Welcome to my channel, The Three Mountains. My name is White Eagle. Today I bring you Crocodile Sebek, part 3. And we're going to start with the 3 traitors that we have to kill along the path. The first is the demon of desire. The second is the demon of the mind. And the third is the demon of evil will. The first one is inside the astral body. The second one is inside the mental body. The third is inside the body of will, the causal body. All of these 3 together are the black dragon with 3 heads. They are also Sebal, Ortelut, and Stokin, the 3 traitors of Hiram Abiff. They are present in the Christian Gospel as Judas, Pilatus, and Caiaphas. In short, these 3 unclean spirits are in our psychological I, the ego, the myself, says Master Samael. Now, at the start of the path, I gave you 3 lines, yes, and this is important because they go from video 25 to video 29. And here I show you again. This time my computer is not failing me. So we have here the first line, yes, and I'm asking you to kill the ego and go back to self-control, yes. And this line is in relation with the demon of desire that Master Samael speaks about. The second line is about bringing your mind to the present moment. And this line is in relation, or this work is in relation with controlling your mind, and gradually we will be killing the demon of the mind. And the third line that I gave you has to do with the environment, and I said to you that the environment is not in your hands. It will be in the hands of Master Samael as he throws you the tests along the path. Now we go back to my paperwork. Let's continue. Now I want you to see that the first line is in relation with our egos of desire. The second line is in relation with bringing the mind to the present moment, to start to take control and fight the demon of the mind. I have also asked you from the beginning to obey your intuition. And this is in relation to fighting our evil will, as Master Samael states, or ill will inside us. Remember, all this work in the first mountain is done in a small scale, and the tests are small and the pain is less. Now my words continue. In the astral, you will see them as rats inside your house. In short, whenever you see mice in your astral, remember these 3 traitors. You will have to work on killing these 3 egos in particular. The first rat is the ego of desire in us and is in relation with our astral body and our emotional brain. The second rat is the ego of the mind and is in relation with our mental body and our intellectual brain. And the third rat is the ego of the ill will and is in relation with our causal body or body of conscious will and our motor instinct sexual brain. We can't be bothered, we are lazy, etc. That's why I keep repeating all along, you must obey the intuition, because it will ask you to work and work until you build inside you the body of conscious will, the will of the being. And later on, when we ascend higher, we will obey only one law, the law of God the Father. And I bring you this Kabbalah Tree, again, the image of the Kabbalah Tree, because we will see where the 3 rats are. The first rat, the ego of desire, is inside the astral body. There we need to build and then fill with gold in the second mountain. The second rat is the one that is in relation with our mental body, yes, with our minds. And in the second mountain, again, as I said, we will have to fill with gold our minds, yeah. And the third one is in relation with evil will, and this is in relation with filling with gold our causal bodies in the second mountain, yeah. That's all I wanted to show you, so you know what I'm talking about. Let's continue. In Christianity, they are referred as, the ego of desire is referred as Judas, the ego of the sensual mind is Pilates, and the ego of ill will is Caiaphas, because always washes his hands. And here I put an image of Perseus, yes, and you can see the three brains, yeah, because the three rats are in relation with our three brains inside us. The intellect, yes, the emotional center, and the motor instinct sexual center. And here Perseus is cutting the head of the black dragon and Medusa, yes, which is the snake, the tempting snake of Eden, of course, our lust inside us. So let's continue. Image of Perseus holding the head of Medusa, the tempting serpent of lust in us. This is achieved at the top of the second mountain. Again, these rats are inside our psychology. In the second mountain, one is betrayed many times. We can also see that a particular person or group of people become rats, traitors in our lives, people who will betray us. And that's why I emphasize the point of turning to your intuition for trust when making decisions. Why? Because people outside have not worked on killing the ego in themselves, and the three traitors are very alive inside their psychology. That's why I say trust only yourself, meaning your being, the intuition when walking the path. Do not listen to beautiful proposals from people outside, especially when your intuition is shouting no inside you. Now let's take a look at the three lines that we will have to follow along the second mountain. I honestly believe that with these three lines that I show you today, you will be capable of surmounting any of the tests that you have to go through, because I did it. And so you will go through any danger, any temptation along the way, and any doubts, confusion that your sensual mind will attack you with. So in both cases, the ego will try to stop you from inside and outside at all cost. Why? Because the ego will do anything to stay alive and not let you escape. Now, the first one, beware of the sensual mind, the chattering mind. The more you bring your attention to the present moment, the less you will be using your sensual mind, and the more alert you will become to arising egos in order to kill them. So, to catch oneself in the 5 centers of our machine, we must not be identified with the thoughts that arise in us. The first line is the same as before that I showed you at the beginning, for being in the present moment. Yeah, so we take a look. So here we have the line, and this will be the line of the sensual mind, because your sensual mind will be producing lots of ego thoughts. Yeah, the chattering mind, hearing voices, and what you have to do is all the time bring the attention to the present moment. Yes, when one thought arises and takes you away, don't get identified. Bring back your attention to the present moment. Yes, come back. Yes. So let's read. The sensual mind sends ego thoughts to keep us asleep in the physical. Be in the present moment. Be alert. Do not daydream. Do not talk to your mind. Observe the thoughts. Do not become identified with any thought. Do not allow fantasies, yes, the mechanical imagination, to take you away, far, far away, yes. Use your mind to calculate, to remember, yeah, as a tool to work with when you need it, and that's it, yes. So work with the soul key, subject, object, and location. And the more you use the soul key, the more you will awake in the astral dimension, the superior dimensions. Now let's continue. The second line refers to working on concentration and opening the inner mind every day. The more you attach yourself to your intuition each day, the more you will be opening the inner mind in the physical, and the less you will be relying on your sensual mind, which is the second traitor inside us, for making decisions. Ultimately, the chattering mind will become less. The more concentrated we become, the more we can perceive messages from the inner mind, until only the pristine mirror-like lake will remain inside you. Atlas, here we have an image of Atlas turned to stone. So the sensual mind stops being our heavy burden, because we manage to surpass our mind. Yeah, and this is Perseus, yes, and who turns Atlas into stone. Now let's continue. Atlas is the name for the top vertebra in the spinal column, and that's why it is holding the head in this painting. We will fill our mental body with gold. We get the control of our minds, and we can concentrate at any moment. Now, Master Samael states, it is clear that at each moment we have to become more and more independent from the mind. The mind is certainly a dungeon, a prison, where all of us are prisoners. We need to evade that prison if indeed we want to know what liberty is, to know that liberty which does not belong to time, that liberty which is not of the mind. First of all, we must consider the mind as something that is not of the being. The happiest moments that we have all had in life have always been in the absence of the mind. It becomes indispensable to learn how to see the mind as something that we must dominate, as something that, let us say, something that we need to tame. Let us remember the divine Master Jesus entering into Jerusalem, seated upon his donkey, just a moment, seated upon his donkey on Palm Sunday. That donkey is the mind, which we must subdue. We must ride upon the donkey and do not allow the donkey to ride upon us. And here is the image of Master Jesus entering Jerusalem on top of a donkey. Now, this concentrated mind, this is my next picture. The concentrated mind is alert to messages from the intuition at all times throughout the day. So while we are awake in the physical, yes? And when we are in the astral, we will be receiving messages from our being. So here I put the line, yes, of our inner mind now speaking to us, or the voice of the intuition sending us messages throughout the day, yes? So only the intuition can lead us along the right path in the physical. So I put this as an example. For example, I'm driving to work and my intuition says, take the long road today. Yeah? You have the feeling, yes, now I should not go the same way today. So you obey. And later you find out that a big accident happened on the short road that you use daily. So your intuition was aware of the danger. Now next, I am at work. Concentrate on the task you have to do. Do not allow the sensual mind to distract you. Now suddenly the boss shouts at you because maybe he found that you made mistakes, you know. Now anger pops inside your heart. And you can see that it's an ego from the emotional center. Kill it now. Kill it right there, right then. Stay calm. Do not react. And go back to being okay. Another example, I'm interacting now with people. So be alert to egos coming, yeah, or popping up inside you. Check your 5 centers that they are always okay, at peace. Now suddenly a sexy girl comes, yes, and starts talking to you. I feel beatings in my heart and my sexual center. So those are egos of lust. You need to kill them right there, right then. Then in another instance, a guy swears at me in the street. My mind reacts a lot, yeah, with lots of thoughts. Those are egos of pride, yes, that I want to answer back. Kill those egos, yes, do not react back. Now we continue. My next image, just a moment. I'm doing it wrong, sorry. Now, here it is. I'm pressing the wrong key. So we continue with the concentrated mind. Again, the line of the inner mind, the voice of the intuition, the voice of the heart. Now, the boss asks us, can you work this weekend, please? And you check with your intuition, and the intuition is saying, yes, 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 and you feel it like a, happiness inside. But your sensual mind says, no, I want to sleep, I want to stay at home, or I want to go out, I have had enough of work. Yeah, but you must obey. So you answer yes. Then I'm back at home and now I have time to be with my children. So be there with them. Do not allow money worries, thoughts from the sensual mind that produce fears, insecurities, etc. to interrupt, yes, your time with your beloved ones. Laugh and pay attention to children, to your partner, to your spouse, to your friends. If you are always with your if you are away with your sensual mind, yes, then you will realize later on that you did not spend time together being happy. And that's important. Now, the end of the day arrives and I have time to do an analysis of today's egos. So I relax, I take a bath or a shower, I lie down in my bed and I put my body, and my body is still, yes? So now it's time to review the egos that jumped in me today. For example, the first one, the ego of anger. Yes, when my boss shouted at me. Next, I continue I'm watching my own film and I found the ego of lust when the sexy girl came. Yes, that was really disturbing me inside. Next, the ego of pride. Yeah, when the guy was swearing at me, my pride. So these three egos I will have to take to my next practice of alchemy. I will remember them and I will ask my Divine Mother to burn them for me. Yeah? And we continue now with my next picture. Now, again, the analysis is finished for today's egos. Do I go for a meditation practice? Yes or no? My intuition is saying, yes, 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 you have time, go for it. Okay, I obey. Maybe my being wants to show me something important in the astral, and I start my meditation practice, just an easy way. I do not get up, I keep my body still, I start vocalizing a mantra, any mantra, yes, in order to attract sleep, yeah, and oxygenate the brain, yes, by repeating the mantra aloud. So I continue repeating the mantra mentally when I feel a little bit sleepy, yes. So my astral body unfolds, yeah, so sleep took over, and I receive a small samadhi. Now I wake up, I do not move, and I recall what I saw or heard as much as possible in detail. And I work with my intuition in order to decode the meaning of that samadhi. Now let's continue. In the second mountain, the line of the environment is in the hands of Master Samael again, as we descend to kill the egos hidden inside our own klipoth or hells. So this line is for the environment, the 9 hells. The golden bodies are formed working on the 9th sphere. Yeah, remember that. And this is the image that I have made for you. So This is the line of the environment, and there are 9 degrees. Here in 0, we start with Malkuth, yes, and there are 48 laws. Then if we enter one level down, we find ourselves in the sphere of the moon, and there are already 96 laws. Yes, remember, the environment will go heavier and heavier, and the density it will be really heavy and very heavy as the laws increase. Then in -2 we enter the sphere of Mercury with 192 laws. Then in -3 we work on the sphere of Venus with 288 laws. In -4 we find the sphere of the Sun with 384 laws. In -5 we have the sphere of Mars. Yes, we have to kill those egos that are found in that sphere, in each sphere, and is very dense. The environment is very dense with 480 laws. Then in -6 there are 576 laws and is called the sphere of Jupiter. In -7 we enter the sphere of Saturn with 672 laws. Then in the sphere of Uranus there are 768 laws, and then we are in -8. And finally in -9 we enter the sphere of Neptune with 864 laws of density, of mechanicity, and you can imagine the pain. This is La Via Dolorosa in Spanish, or the path of the Golgotha, yes, in English. So work is done on the dark side of the moon, Lilith. Each sphere that we descend to will take us a long time to clean it, yes, from all the hidden egos living there. And each root ego hurts a lot to extirpate from our depths. When we finish eliminating the egos in one sphere, then we ascend back to its corresponding heaven that we have earned the right to enter. And remember, Master Samael, each exaltation is preceded by a humiliation. Yes? So it's not that we will be killing the egos one after the other, sphere after sphere. No, we work in one sphere. When we finish the egos that belong to that sphere, then we ascend to its corresponding heaven. Now let's continue. The suffering is greater along the second mountain. The environment becomes dense and more dense as we descend into each of the infernal circles to eliminate the egos that we have in each circle. That's why Master Samael says that along the path we will have to go through many painful crises. Yeah, crisis, the word crisis comes from Greek and means to grow, for unrooting our deepest egos. Let's continue. Now I show you the line for the heavens. So remember, after working in one sphere in the hells, we ascend to its corresponding heaven that we have earned or we have reconquered. Yes. So here is the line for the environment again, and the title is Reconquering the Lost Heavens and Climbing Jacob's Ladder. So when we finish in the sphere of the moon, we earn the right to enter into the heaven of the moon, and that will be +1, and we become an angel. Then then we enter the heaven of Mercury, and that will be +2. The heaven of Venus, +3. The heaven of the Sun will be our +4. The heaven of Mars, +5. The heaven of Jupiter, our +6. The heaven of Saturn, +7. The heaven of Uranus, +8. And finally, we reconquer the degree of Seraphim in the heaven of Neptune, right? I repeat, we reconquer each heaven after having finished and eliminated the egos in the hells, yes, on each sphere in the hell. Now I show you Jacob's ladder inside the Kabbalah tree. Just a moment. So remember in video 92, I spoke about the degrees of angels in the tree, and you can go back and take a look at that video. Yes. So we have the 3 triangles, and here we have Malkuth, the physical body, when we are just an initiate. But as I said, when we finish our work in the sphere of the moons, in the hells, then we ascend to reconquer our lost heaven, and where we enter the state of being an angel again. So here we have angels. Angels in the Yesod, in the vital body. Then in the astral body we become archangels. Then in the mental body, when we enter the mental, we become principalities, virtues, powers, dominions, and as we go up, yes, we have thrones, cherubims, and seraphims. So I advise you to go back into that video and watch it again. Let's continue now. This is the end now of the video. Along the path, we work with 3 factors: the birth, the death, and the sacrifice for humanity. I added one more factor in order for you not to get lost in this long path full of dangers across the 3 mountains, and that is to always obey and follow your intuition. I advise you to read Book 2, The Return to the Light, as it explains the 9 labors of Hercules that correspond to the 2nd mountain in detail. And this is the end of part 3, and I leave you my email for inquiries, the3mountains19@gmail.com. And we continue with part 4 next time. Thanks for watching.